welcome back to Iron Bow fly tying videos. Today we are going to be covering the Toro Loco. I tie these in both a just regular trout sized articulated streamer here, or even a bull trout sized here, and sometimes even a single hook. But today we're going to be going over the one that I started tying these with, which is just the classic Toro Loco. So sit down, grab a beer, grab some water, whatever you want, sit back, and let's go over this fly pattern here. Here we go. Okay, so we're going to start things off here with a size 2 Gamakatsu B10S hook. Just first things first, build a thread base, taking it back to the back end of the shank here, stopping when your thread hits just about the hook point there, right there. We'll cut the excess here, and we'll start building our fly. So first we're going to do some Marabou. Today I'm going to be using white as the tail feather, just kind of to give it that more like bait fish, rainbow trout looking idea. So we're going to take our feather here, kind of build it all together, go around-ish. If it's a little past the hook length, totally fine, but shoot for around the full hook length of your Marabou. So we'll take that here, grab her, do a couple pinch wraps just to get everything started, tie her down, pull her tight, pull it back. I like to put a couple thread wraps in the front end here and then back over top just to secure the Marabou down. Of course, we're going to be gluing through all of these steps as well, usually, and that's going to allow a lot more good construction and durability to your fly. Okay, so got that done. So next we're going to be adding some flat diamond braid. Going to be using pearl today. Fun fact with the pearl, or fun thing I should say, depending on what color thread you're using here, because it is somewhat clear, whatever color you're using as your thread base, some of that kind of pulls through in the flat diamond braid and kind of gives it a cool look, which you'll kind of see once I'm done here. So first off, we're going to just tie the flat diamond braid in, taking her all the way back to the Marabou. And then we'll just bring her forward here to around the hook eye, and then I'll just like to do a little half hitch, because next thing we're going to be doing here is just bringing this the flat diamond braid, palmering it forward. So here we go. Okay, perfect. Next, what I like to do is just a couple wraps around the flat diamond braid. That's just gonna help secure things. And I'll pull her back. And we'll build the thread forward. Okay. Perfection. Okay, next we're going to be adding some olive rabbit strips. Now, I went ahead and took some time and I built this little ruler here, just going in inch and half-inch increments. So today for our rabbit strip tail, we are going to be taking, what is it? It's about a inch extra. And what that's gonna do, we're gonna take that, we're gonna tie it in right there, just like so. A good tip here when you're tying in your rabbit strip is you can just lick your fingers, pull it back. That's going to kind of clean up the rabbit strip hair, gives you a clean tie-in point. So we're going to take that there, tie her in just with some securing wraps, just as we do with everything on this fly. Okay, pull her back again, a couple wraps in front. And what I like to do at this point is just cut the hide. A bit of a tag there, and that's just going to give us a spot to kind of pull her down once we get it back a bit more. Okay, see, so now we're starting to get a nice little taper through there. So next we're going to be using the Loco Legs Tan Turtle Grass. Just a single set of legs, so we'll pull them off the section here. Again, just cleaning them up so you got some nice even ends. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna touch the tips, wrap it around the thread, and just pull her up to the top. There you can see kind of, we've got them even. From that point in, we'll just get them tied back, making sure that we've got a leg down both sides, just to kind of give it a nice little lateral line, especially today because we're trying to match. We're gonna give it a little bit of a little rainbow trout look here. Okay, last step here, we're just gonna use some of the 1.5 inch Foxy brush. With these guys here, because it's just a little bit of stuff at the end to add a bit of bulk, give it a bit more of a taper as you build to the front. So I'm not too worried about getting a lot of wraps of this in. It's more just trying to get probably 2-3 wraps if we're lucky in here, just to kind of fill in some space and give it a good look. When tying in the wire here, I always like to tie it forward, then fold it back. Again, you're gonna notice a trend trying to keep everything very secure and durable. Okay, again, just bring the thread forward, and then we'll go 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we're not too worried. And then again, doing that same wrapping technique just to get everything tight. And then we'll build a little bit of a thread base here. I like to push, because it's wire, you can use your fingernails, push a bit down on it. Build a nice little thread. Okay, perfect. Take our scissors, cut that out. And then we will just do a quick whip finish. I like to do 2. Why? Don't know, but 3 on the first one, 2 on the second. Just always something I felt secure about. Finish it off, cut the thread. Then at this point here, we're going to take our ultimate dubbing brush, and we're just gonna kind of go around, kind of pluck out a bit of that brush, because as you're doing your touching wraps, it's definitely not all gonna get spread out the way you want, and this is just gonna free any of those captured fibers. And there you've got the back of the fly. Now, at this point here, you could even end it. This fly here I've used before just to swing on the bow more in the winter time, and it's proven to be pretty productive in a pattern similar to this, an olive, a straight black, or even a maroon. So we've got our back guy done here now. We're gonna move on to the front. Today I've got just a large brass cone. I've switched to brass in the past couple of years just to lighten up the fly. I've kind of switched over to putting more of the weight into the sink tip. Now that's your decision. You can do brass, you can do tungsten, you can do a cone, you can do a bead, you can do a lead eye, whatever tickles your fancy. Go crazy with it and put your own kind of spin. So first things first, again, building thread. Now that we've got the bead on here, again, taking it all the way back to the hook point again, cut the excess thread. Now, okay, at this point here, we are adding in our connector. Today we're going to be using Senyo's trailer wire, the larger size. With this stuff here, I like to pull out a decent amount of it. Again, like I talked about when tying in the Foxy brush, we are going to want to double up this wire here and fold it back over itself, just again to make it tight, secure, especially if you're getting takes off of this back part here. You want to make sure that it's not going to be pulling out of that rear end. And then again, you're farming a fish. So we're going to get some wire here and we'll get on to the next one. Okay, so we've got our back section rigged up with the trailer wire here. Next, we're going to take 2 of the hairline 3D eyes in the 6mm diameter. I'm going to throw 2 of these guys onto the wire here. Again, this fly, or these beads come in a bunch of colors, but today we're going to be using the olive. Again, this is also going to help keep the fly from fouling, so it's not going to get too hung up on the front hook here, and allow just for a bit more of an extension. So we're just going to tie that in, a couple loose wraps. Then at that point there, I'll get everything sized. I like to have these nice and tight to the front hook, just so it again pushes it out nice, but it's not going to make anything too long. And especially when we add in the second bit of marabou for the front tail, it'll kind of pull over nicely and give you that perfect little look. So here we're going to take a bit of the UV resin flow. I like to do just a tiny little dab on the top here. Now we're just gonna leave it wet. And again, I'll build a bit more of a thread base. And at this point here, as I was mentioning, we'll pull all this back. This is again gonna tighten everything up, keep this wire from ever pulling and this fly separating down the road. If anything, you'll hopefully lose the fly before it breaks. Okay, at that point there, we're gonna take our UV light, give it a good old zapperoo, tighten up that UV that we got in there. Hopefully some of that kind of pulls in. And then from this point on, we're just gonna continue with the exact same steps that we did on the back section. So here we go. Okay, now that we're at the front, this is a little different just because of spacing here. When I do my brush, I like to make sure I've got just about another 1/4 inch of space between the thread here and the front of the cone. That's just gonna allow me to pack in a bit of that Foxy brush right at the front there and kind of build up a bit more bulk. On this one here, I will switch up and tie my legs in before the rabbit strip. This is just going to kind of clean the profile down. The rabbit strip will just kind of smooth down the area that we're gonna put that Foxy brush once we get to it here. So again, same as last time, even rubber legs, just to set a pair in the front, pulling them back just to get them oriented nicely. And boom, there we go. Next, taking our our olive rabbit strip again, pulling out that about inch length of hide, wetting our fingers, pulling it back. We've got a good little section here. Pull her in. Two. 3 wraps, fix it up, make sure everything's looking nice. As you can see, everything's we're getting a good little profile here. Now, at the front here, I will take it again forward. I like to leave this one, when I cut it, a little bit longer. What that's gonna do is this hide here is gonna go underneath the cone, and it's just gonna hold this a bit tighter so you don't get any movement around, kind of like that. So here we go. And we'll just take a couple loose wraps, like very, very loose wraps. And just kind of work that rabbit strip into the front there. Okay. So from that point on, it's just going to be palmering in some more of the Foxy brush here. and then we'll be well on our way to fishing this bad boy. So again, tied it in a couple times, bring it forward, fold that little bit of wire back, wrap on top of itself again, and bring the thread forward. At this point here, just palmering it. Again, trying to preen it just as you would any kind of schlappen or feather when you're tying a woolly bugger or any palmer feather pattern really. And again, here we're gonna probably do at least double what we did on the back. This is gonna be our really big bulk builder here. Again, trying to get some of that out and pulling it tight too. This is gonna really secure the fly and make it just that much more durable. Okay, we got that there. Do another couple wraps like that, as we've done all the way through this pattern. And then just seat that in there nicely. Cut our excess. Couple more wraps. Whip finish. This one I'll do 3 rotations of it. Again, this is the front, just makes it a bit stronger, shears everything up. Yeah, okay. So technically there we are done. As I said, you do want to bring that rabbit strip forward. This one here, I'm still dealing with a little bit of space. So one trick I've kind of learned and I like to do now is if it is like that, I'll take this resin again using the pink tip and we'll just work this right into here. I'll show you what we're doing a little closer up here now. Okay, so we're just gonna preen this all back here. I'm gonna take my resin, I'm just gonna inject it right in there. A decent amount, just along the top. And you can take your UV light again and pull that back a little. Just give it a pump with the old light. That's gonna just kind of pull everything right onto that cone there. And now we got no movement. And just like that, good to go. So from there, again, we'll take our brush and we will just kind of work the fibers out. I like to do the rough part first and then switch to the soft afterward. That's gonna clean everything up. And she's all combed out. There you go, guys. That is the El Toro Loco Classic. Now, as I mentioned, you can tie this in a single version or the mega version like the one I'm holding here. Both are just as effective in their fishability and for the species you're going for. I tied the single the exact same way I tied this one here. The mega, I've got a couple differences, a lot more weight, tied in a 4/0. But again, keep an eye out. I'm gonna be doing the mega in the next couple of weeks on the video page here as well, just to kind of go a little more in depth and explain what I've done to this guy just to make it that much heavier so that I can get it down quick to the bottom and fish it for that much longer for the bull trout. With all these flies here, all the materials are available there at the shop. Most of the guys know the materials that go into this pattern, but if they don't, feel free to shoot us a message, throw a comment down in the comment section, or give me a call here at the shop. As far as that goes though, that's it for today, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a good one.